In the heart of a kingdom blessed with peace and plenty, lived a young prince named Marcus. His halls were draped in silk, his tables overflowed with harvests, and his people were content. Yet a shadow clung to Marcus that no luxury could dispel. He was a prisoner of his own mind, haunted by what-ifs. What if the rains fail? He'd worry on a sunny day. What if a plague comes? He'd fret in perfect health. His heart, a frantic bird in a gilded cage, knew no peace. The prosperity of his kingdom felt fragile. Like a glass sculpture he was terrified to break, and this fear soured every moment of his gilded life. One evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of violet and rose, a visitor arrived. It was not a diplomat or a courtier, but a great horned owl who landed silently on the prince's balcony. The owl's eyes held the depth of an ancient forest. "I have watched you, Prince Marcus," the owl hooted, his voice not a squawk but a low, resonant hum. "You seek to control the wind and the rain, the hearts of others, and the passage of time. These things are not yours to command." The prince, stunned, could only listen. "My name is Zeno," the owl continued, "and I know of a place you seek, though you do not know its name, the Citadel of Serenity. It is not found on any map, for its foundations are built within. If you have the courage, your journey begins now." Marcus accepted. He shed his fine clothes for the simple garb of a traveler and followed Zeno into the wilds. Their first great obstacle was a river, swollen by mountain storms into a raging, impassable torrent. "This is a disaster," Marcus cried, pacing the bank. "The journey is over before it's begun. Why must fate be so cruel?" He spent the rest of the day in a state of agitation, shouting at the river, throwing stones into the churning water, and despairing at his misfortune. Zeno simply watched, perched on a low-hanging branch, his gaze unwavering and calm. As evening fell, Zeno finally spoke. "Prince, you have spent all your energy on the river. Tell me, has it calmed? Has it obeyed your will?" Marcus fell silent. "No," he admitted. "Then you have wasted your strength," said Zeno. "You cannot control the river. That is external to you, but you can control your response. You can control your actions. Look around. There are fallen trees. There are vines. Focus not on what you cannot change, but on what you can." A flicker of understanding ignited in Marcus's eyes. He spent the next day not cursing the river, but working with what nature provided. He built a small, sturdy raft. He learned the first great lesson. Serenity comes from separating what is in our power from what is not. After crossing the river, their path led into the mountains. They followed a narrow pass, making good time, and Marcus's spirit was high. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and with a deafening roar, the cliffside above them gave way. A river of rock and earth cascaded down, completely obliterating the path ahead. It was a dead end. "No," Marcus yelled, his brief confidence shattered. "First the river, now this. The universe conspires against me. This is a terrible fate." He slumped onto a rock, the picture of defeat, believing this to be the final, cruel joke of destiny. Zeno floated down to a boulder beside him. "You call this a terrible fate," the owl said calmly. "But you do not know the end of the story. Perhaps the path ahead led to a greater danger. Perhaps this obstacle is not an ending but a redirection. Instead of fighting what has happened, let us love it. Let us accept it as necessary and see what it has to offer." Zeno gestured with a wing. Behind the rubble of the freshest part of the slide, a dark opening had been revealed, the entrance to a cave, hidden for centuries. Curiosity overriding his despair, Marcus approached. The cave offered them shelter, a spring of fresh water, and a tunnel that they would soon discover was a shortcut through the mountain, saving them a week's journey. He learned the second lesson: to love his fate, and to trust that even setbacks are part of the path. Their new path led them to the edge of a deep, dark forest, known in Thales as the Whisperwood. Shadows danced menacingly between the ancient trees, and strange sounds echoed from its depths. Marcus hesitated. "My mind. It fills with dread, Zeno. I imagine us getting lost, starving, or being hunted by some unseen beast." He could feel the old anxiety creeping back, paralyzing him. "Good," said Zeno, to Marcus's surprise. "Your imagination is a powerful tool. Do not let it use you, you must use it. Let us sit. Close your eyes and imagine the worst. Do not run from it, confront it." Hesitantly, Marcus did as he was told. He pictured them hopelessly lost. He imagined the hunger gnawing at his stomach. He envisioned the glowing eyes of a predator in the dark. But as he held these images in his mind, Zeno prompted him. "If you were lost, what would you do?" "I would mark the trees to find my way back," Marcus replied. "If you were hungry, I would use the snares my gameskeeper taught me to make. If you met a beast, I would not panic. I would make myself look large and have my knife ready." By meditating on these potential evils, he stripped them of their power. He was no longer a victim of the unknown. He was a planner. He stood, his fear replaced by resolve, and took his first step into the Whisperwood, prepared. This was the third lesson. Rehearse hardship in your mind so you will be ready for it in reality. After many days, they emerged from the forest and climbed the final peak on their journey. From the summit, the world spread out below them like a map. They could see the entire Whisperwood, now just a dark patch of green. They could trace the silver thread of the river they had crossed. Far on the horizon, a glint of light was Marcus's own kingdom, impossibly small. He felt a profound sense of scale. His worries about the kingdom, his frustrations on the path, his personal fears, they all seemed so insignificant from this height. "This is the view from above, Prince Marcus," Zeno said, his voice carried on the wind. "When you are troubled by small things, by insults or minor setbacks, climb to this place in your mind. See how all human affairs are but a momentary scene in the grand, cosmic play. Remember this perspective, and you will not be easily disturbed." On their descent, they came to a tranquil grove. At its center stood a tree of immense size and age, but it was dying. Its bark was gnarled, its branches sparse. Golden leaves fell like slow tears with every breeze. "What a shame," Marcus said softly, a genuine sadness in his voice, "for something so magnificent to end." "Is it a shame?" asked Zeno. "Or is it beautiful? This tree has seen 1,000 seasons. It has given shade to generations of creatures. Its life was full. Its death is not a failure but a completion. It is the fact that its time is limited that makes its existence so precious. Remember this, Marcus. Memento mori. Remember that you too are mortal. This knowledge should not bring you sadness, but urgency. To live your limited time with virtue, purpose, and gratitude." Finally, they arrived at a sun-dappled clearing, impossibly peaceful. "Here we are," announced Zeno. Marcus looked around. There was no fortress, no walls, no citadel of stone and mortar. There was only a grove of trees and a pool of water so clear and still it perfectly mirrored the sky. "But where is it?" the prince asked, confused. "Where is the Citadel of Serenity?" Zeno guided him to the edge of the pool. "Look," he instructed. Marcus stared into the water. He saw his own face, but it was not the face of the anxious boy who had left the castle. The eyes looking back at him were calm. The brow was not furrowed with worry. The mouth was set in a line of quiet confidence. He saw a man who had faced floods, rockslides, and fear, and had found strength not by commanding the world, but by commanding himself. Zeno's reflection appeared beside his. "The Citadel of Serenity is not a place you find, Prince Marcus," the owl's voice echoed in his mind. "It is a fortress you build, brick by brick, with every choice you make. It is here." Zeno tapped a wing against Marcus's temple in the reflection. Marcus finally understood. The journey was the destination. He returned to his kingdom, not to the gilded cage, but to his home. And he ruled not with fear of what might happen, but with the serene strength of the citadel he now carried within him.